Oh no, he's only gone and done it again. David Haye has only gone and picked Tyson Fury to lose once again. I sound like Ralph Smart. Peace, infinite waters diving deep once again. Slow motion this side. Shout out to Ralph Smart. Anyway, David Haye has once again picked Tyson Fury to lose. And you have to ask the question, is he deliberately trying to troll John Fury at this point? He is provoking the ire, the wrath of Gypsy John here. And is it deliberate? Does he genuinely believe that Tyson Fury is going to lose? Is John Fury actually correct in the case of David Haye that Haye wants Tyson Fury to lose, that it's wishful thinking? Of course, I'm well aware that John Fury is not impartial when it comes to this kind of thing. He's very heavily biased in favor of his son. Well, his sons, right? Tyson Fury and Tommy. We saw that with the Carl Frampton incident. But obviously, it's commonplace in boxing. There are so many fighters who, if you pick against them, they take it personally. They think you've got a personal issue with them if you pick them to lose. And it's like, hang on, I'm just trying to be objective here. In certain instances, I don't even care who wins a particular fight, but I just think one guy's going to beat the other, and they'll take it personally. It's not personal. It's just based upon what I think is going to happen. But so many fighters don't see it this way. And of course, John Fury doesn't see it this way, even though hypocritically, he has picked against so many fighters himself. Like Anthony Joshua, for example, he picked against AJ so many times and he was proven wrong so many times. I mean, he picked AJ to lose to Charles Martin, John Fury, and Tyson as well. Tyson put money on it. And when that didn't happen, John Fury basically insinuated that the fight was fixed. That's what he did. He also said that AJ would never be allowed to fight Joseph Parker. And of course, that happened. He picked Vladimir Klitschko to beat AJ. That didn't, so consistently, John Fury has got it wrong with regards to AJ. He doesn't admit to being biased against any of these guys when he picks against them. When he accuses people of being biased against his son because they pick against him, that's probably just a projection of his own mentality. When he picks certain people to lose, it's because he wants them to lose. Do you understand what I'm saying? He's projecting his own mindset onto other people. This is a very common thing in human psychology. But the question for me is, regardless of all that, is David Haye trying to wind John Fury up here? And by the way, some people have noted that John Fury hasn't appeared on BT since that Jake Paul incident where he was saying all that stuff about Jake Paul's girlfriend. I haven't watched BT enough to know, but let me know in the comment section below. Is this true? Has John Fury not appeared on BT since then? Or has he actually, done some punditry work? I don't know. And will David Haye be appearing in the BT studio with John Fury again? Can you imagine? Because John Fury has basically had beef with Carl Frampton. He's had beef with David Haye. And all these guys work at BT. So will David Haye and Carl Frampton be relieved if John Fury's no longer part of that team? Surely John Fury will be in the studio for, this fight with his son and Dylan Whyte. Surely. Will they also have Haye and Frampton in the studio? Maybe they'll have an enormous desk to keep them all really far apart. Maybe they'll have additional security to protect David Haye and Carl Frampton from John Fury. Obviously, I'm being facetious because there are going to be some people in the comment section saying, why would they need protecting from John Fury? David Haye's a professional, former professional fighter. He was way better than John Fury. He'd, smashed John Fury to pieces. Yes, I'm well aware David Haye was a pro and at much higher level than John Fury. It's called a joke, mate. I'm being facetious. It's all just for fun, all for bants. So anyway, with that being said, John Fury, of course, likes to scrap on the cobbles by his own admission. All in, no holds barred, anything goes, a battle royale. Maybe David Haye doesn't like that kind of combat. Maybe he'd be into, even against an old John Fury, he wouldn't want that kind of work. So speculate about that as much as you like. But I'd also like to get your take on David Haye picking Tyson Fury to lose again here. Is this like the third time in a row? Because he picked Tyson Fury to lose the first Wilder fight, the second Wilder fight, and this fight. So, well, that's not third time in a row because, of course, he had 2 fights in between the first and second Wilder fights. But it's certainly at least 3 times. And I'm sure David Haye would have also picked, as most people did, to be fair, Tyson Fury to lose to Vladimir Klitschko because it was such a huge step up. Do you know what I mean? And in this instance, David Haye is saying that he's picking the underdog, Dillian Whyte. To be fair, the interviewer asked him if you had £1 to put on either fighter, Tyson Fury or Dillian Whyte here, who would your last pound go on? And he said he put his last pound on Dillian Whyte because it's better odds. You know, so what's the point in putting money on the guy who's the favorite? You're not going to make much if he wins. Whereas if you put money on the underdog and he pulls off the big upset, you're going to, I don't know, triple, quadruple your money. I haven't checked the odds for this fight, but you'll make a lot of money. But then he expanded on it and said, well, you know, upsets do happen and this, that, and the other. And he kind of doubled down and said, no, I'm picking Dillian Whyte to win this fight. I can't help but think that there's an element here, even if he genuinely believes. Look, there's nothing wrong with picking Dillian Whyte, by the way. I did a poll on my channel asking what percentage people gave Dillian Whyte, you know, how much of a chance they gave him percentage-wise of winning. In fact, I can show you the poll here. So, as you can see, 28% are saying that Dillian Whyte has got at least a 50% chance. So they're basically picking him. 28% of people are basically picking Dillian Whyte to win because they think he's at least got a 50% chance or more. But the majority of people think he's got between a 30 and 40% chance. As you can see here, 19 say 40%, 25% say 30%, okay? So you got 50% of the voters have said Dillian Whyte has got between a 30 and 40% chance. And I would probably agree with that. I give Dillian Whyte maybe a 30% chance or so. And that's not a bad chance, right? 30%, nearly a third. That's like a 1 in 3 chance, basically, of winning. That's not a bad chance. This is not like a complete rank outsider that's got not a prayer in the world. No, Dillian Whyte has a prayer. He has a good left hook. He's definitely got the power to hurt Tyson Fury. Can he keep him down, though? That's the thing about Fury, is that he's got tremendous powers of recovery. But the only thing that concerns me a little bit about Fury is the way he looked when he went down against Deontay Wilder in the last fight. Because he had the look on his face of a man who was contemplating not getting up. And I know other people saw this. I've spoken to people in my Element group who also saw and recognized the same look on Tyson Fury's face when he went down against Wilder. He had the look on his face as if he just couldn't be bothered with it all anymore. Do you know what I mean? And that was a strange thing to see when he's in there against the guy who he dominated last time out, who he'd already dropped this time, and he gets dropped in return and he's on the floor and he's thinking, I mean, I don't know what he was thinking, but the look on his face was as if he was thinking, I can't be bothered with all this anymore. You know, Tyson Fury is that kind of erratic character psychologically, you know, who thinks strange things and who thinks strange things at strange times. You see what I'm saying? He needs a challenge, Tyson Fury. He needs danger. He needs somebody who the people are saying that he's going to lose to, who people are saying is a real serious threat, so he can rise to the occasion, because that excites him. I think Tyson Fury is the kind of character who gets bored easily, and he always needs something fresh and new. And so the question is, does Dillian Whyte provide that for him? Does he really have any fear of Dillian Whyte at all? If he doesn't have any fear of Dillian Whyte at all, that could actually be problematic. If I'm a Tyson Fury fan, I would actually be more comfortable if Fury has a little bit of fear of Dillian Whyte. I'll be more comfortable that way, because I know when there's a bit of fear there, Tyson Fury is going to perform out of his skin. But when there's no fear there at all, if I'm a Tyson Fury fan, I'm concerned about complacency on Tyson Fury's behalf. I'm concerned about a lack of motivation, because I could clearly see the difference. I know some people were bamboozled by Fury's antics at the press conference, but what I said pre-fight was confirmed by his trainer, Sugar Hill Stewart, after the fight. And that is that it was clear to me going into the third Wilder fight that Fury wasn't as motivated for that fight as he was for the second fight. It was clear to me in his body language and everything, just the way he looked. This was not a guy who was as motivated. The second fight, he was you could see it in his eyes. You could see it in his body language. Even his body, right? The shape he was in was better in the second fight. Even though it was a kind of similar weight, heavier in the third fight, but similar weight. Yeah, Fury was a lot more on it in that second fight. The third fight, because he totally dominated Wilder the second time out, I don't think he could get up for it as much. Now, obviously, there was stuff going on outside the ring in his personal life with his newborn child and all that. That could have affected it as well. But I genuinely think that part of the reason that Tyson Fury didn't dominate Wilder as much in the third fight as he did in the second fight is because he just wasn't quite as motivated, because he didn't have the same level of fear. And when I say fear, I'm not saying that Fury was quaking in his boots. No. But when you're dealing with an elite fighter like Tyson Fury, they use the nerves, right? They use that bit of edge, that sense of danger to up their game. That's what the greats actually do. Lesser fighters who are not as psychologically wired for elite level success as Tyson Fury, they tend to crumble under that kind of pressure, under those kind of nerves. Do you know what I mean? With that type of, they tend to crumble. That destroys them. But with Tyson Fury, it actually helps to raise his game. You see it? So anyway, let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments below. Again, I've got no issue at all with anybody picking Dillian Whyte to win. There's no problem with that. I think 1 in 3 chance for Dillian Whyte is perfectly reasonable. The question is David Haye picking him because he genuinely believes that Dillian Whyte is going to win, or is he picking him because he's trying to get under John Fury's skin? He's goading him. He's trying to provoke him and all this kind of thing. Because when John Fury came out against David Haye, following David Haye picking Deontay Wilder to win last time out, David Haye responded by saying that, because David Haye also then said that he'd like to fight Tyson Fury, and John Fury was so angry about that, right? Fuming. And David Haye said, well, maybe John's angry because he knows deep down that I can beat his son. Hey, yo, David must enjoy trolling John. That's even if he's not trolling him this time, and I'm not saying that he isn't. Okay, you guys let me know what you think. But when he said that oh, baby, deep down he knows I could beat his son, he must have been trolling John at that point. So, and you see, this is why I like David Haye as a pundit. Not because his technical breakdowns and his analysis and his predictions are always the best. No, I like David Haye as a pundit because he's fun. Do you know what I mean? He's an edgy character and he's fun. That's why I like him as a pundit. Yes, you do need the people with good prediction records and great technical breakdowns as well. But I like some theatricality in the proceedings. I like people who are going to bring some fun and some mischief to the party. And that's what David Haye brings. That's also what Carl Froch brings. So I would much prefer to see these two, for example, on the DAZN team than the likes of Darren Barker and that miscellaneous guy who they've paired him with. Who is that miscellaneous? I always forget his name. He's so miscellaneous. No disrespect to him. Maybe he's a really nice person. But in a professional capacity, he's just like a miscellaneous, generic media guy. You know what I mean? And Eddie Hearn calls this the cream of the crop. Like, give it a rest, Eddie. Give us somebody with some personality. Bring some personalities into the DAZN commentary team. I like Andy Lee, and I think Ade does a good job. But apart from that, I mean, I'd sacked a lot of them. Tony Bellew. Look, Tony Bellew did great as a fighter, but as a pundit, oh no. Oh no. Please don't make us suffer anymore, Tony Bellew. I thought he said we were never going to see him again. You'll never see me again, Cougs. I mean, what happened to that promise? I went out the window pretty quick, didn't it? So anyway, let me know what you guys think about David Haye picking Dillian Whyte to beat Tyson Fury, picking Fury to lose once again. I can't wait to see John Fury's response. All fun and games. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below.